With the adaptation of Super Sentai into Power Rangers here in the United States, a lot of Toku fans have been asking this same question. When will Super Sentai's sister show, Kamen Rider, get another shot at getting an adaptation here in the US? Let's talk Toku. Hey guys, it's Nick here, and today I wanted to talk about Kamen Rider adaptations here in the US. I know a lot of you know that Power Rangers comes from Super Sentai, and yada, but I'm surprised that not many people know about Super Sentai's sister show, Kamen Rider. To those of you who are somehow unfamiliar with the Kamen Rider franchise, I'll give you some brief information. The Kamen Rider franchise debuted in April of 1971, which makes the franchise over 45 years old as of the uploading of this video. Yeah, that's a lot of years for one franchise. Anyway, the original Kamen Rider started in 1971 and focused around a young man named Hongo Takashi, a young motorcycle artist, which on a motorcycle ride, I guess that's what you would call it, he gets ambushed by an evil organization known as Shocker, and Shocker turns him into an evil cyborg grasshopper man to do their bidding, but Takashi rebelled, and he fights off Shocker as the Kamen Rider. Yeah, a lot of early Kamen Riders in the Showa era looked like bugs, so you might want to get used to this look. What's that? You don't know what Showa era means? Well, apparently Kamen Rider is divided into two eras, Showa and Heisei. The Showa era started with the original Kamen Rider in 1971, and ended with Kamen Rider Black RX in 1988. And the Heisei era started with Kamen Rider Kuga in 2000, and is still continuing to this day with the current running Rider series, Kamen Rider X-Aid. Kamen Rider was adapted to US shores not once, but twice. The first time was Saban's Masked Rider, which was an adaptation of the last Rider series in the Showa era, Kamen Rider Black RX. The show was supposed to be a spin-off of Power Rangers, but sadly it didn't really pick up, so it's best left in obscurity for a lot of Toku fans. The second time was actually much more successful, and actually a much better Kamen Rider adaptation, called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which was an adaptation of Kamen Rider Ryuki, in which much more successful, and it was also much more faithful to its Japanese counterpart. So how would a Kamen Rider adaptation succeed here in the US? Well, I think it's best if somehow Saban required the rights to Kamen Rider Dragon Knight and then just straight up rerun it alongside Power Rangers, and Kamen Rider would become a franchise here in the US. But the problem with that is, what series should they adapt? Well, I have a few ideas. The first and obvious of those is 2014's Kamen Rider Gaim, which was themed after, and I'm not even kidding here, fruit. But despite the silly fruit motif, it was actually a really amazing Rider show, and it's actually pretty adult. Well, not that much adult, but it was a little bit adult, and it did have some unique themes and interesting characters that made it one of the best Rider shows, both in recent memory and overall ever, as a matter of fact. And I think an adaptation of Kamen Rider Gaim would be perfect. Now, I actually had an idea of what the story should be like. It focuses around a young man named Cameron, who, on his way from school, somehow wanders into a mysterious forest in another dimension. And while he's there, he somehow picks a mysterious fruit that turns into a mysterious lock. And that lock gains him the powers to become a, how about we call it a Power Rider in this case? And how about I call him Power Rider Orange? Yeah, and each of the Power Riders are themed after the fruit that they're themed after. Along the way, he has to meet a bunch of other fruit riders, or whatever they're going to be called. And he has to get them to become riders in order to fight an evil organization of monsters that want to invade the world and turn the human realm into the mysterious forest where the fruit locks are from. Yes, that's what I'm going to call the locks, because they're fruit and they're locks. Seems like a logical name. Anyway, and the Power Riders have to stop them using all sorts of gadgets and weaponry and, of course, new armor. I think a really close second, well, at least for me, is one of my personal favorite Rider series, Kamen Rider Kiva, which is set in two different time periods, 1986 and 2008. In the 2008 timeline, it focuses around a young man named Wataru during his adventure in becoming Kamen Rider Kiva and fighting off the evil Fangpire monsters. Since Kamen Rider Kiva is themed after vampires, it would easily take off here in the United States with the vampire craze going on, and it would catch on with a female Twilight-obsessed fan base. Twilight sucks, by the way. And a really close third, well, at least for me, would be my personal favorite Rider series, Kamen Rider Forze, which is set in a high school and focuses around a young man named Gentaro who gains the powers of Kamen Rider Forze and has to fight off the Zodiarts and use switches to fight them off. I would really like to see a Kamen Rider adaptation here in the US, and I think the show should become a franchise here in the US just like it is in Japan, and as of course, I think it would be best if the adaptation of Kamen Rider is aired alongside Power Rangers. That is easily the best bet for you, Saban. By the way, Saban, if you're watching this, please take notes. Toku fans have wanted a Kamen Rider adaptation here in the US for a while now, so please get to it. Okay, that's going to do it for another Let's Talk Toku. In the comments below, remind me what Kamen Rider series you want to see adapted here in the US, and make sure you subscribe for more content. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, as always, until next time, see ya.